Hi.
Hey everybody, how's it going? My name's Eric.
I am Scott.
I'm Casey.
And today we're taking a look at Kinfire Delve. All 3 boxes, all 3 editions. It is a cooperative game for 2 to 4 adventurers as they delve into a dungeon to fight an evil well master and hopefully come out alive. Let's take a look at the overview trailer now.
Welcome, Seeker, to the world of Kinfire Delve. In this cooperative card game for 1 to 4 players, Seekers will need to plunge into the cursed depths, ultimately to face off against evil incarnates. The Well Master. Seekers will have to journey together in order to achieve victory, but don't let your life total get to 0! Also, don't get too exhausted from combat, otherwise defeat could come to you that way too. Players will play stick cards, adding progress tokens to challenges respective to the cards they play. Roll the dice, and add extra progress tokens. Complete the challenge and gain the reward. Fail the challenge and suffer the dire consequences. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Watch out for things like a masterpiece, the maze, crystal caves, and bubbles. Use all your cunning to get to the bottom of the well and face off against the Well Master's final form. Make them vulnerable to your team's attacks and achieve ultimate victory. Gather your lanterns, Seekers. The time is nigh. Are you brave enough to enter the world of Kinfire Delve?
Wow, that was really something, wasn't it, guy?
It was good.
I felt like
good.
that was a lot of Eric.
That's a lot of it. I mean, but that's what the intro is.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to be... Yeah, Delve. Yeah, he's right.
No, man, I mean, like, way too much Eric.
Calm it.
It just matters. So Scott, Casey,
Yeah.
please tell us a little bit about the 3 different boxes, how they work together,
Sure.
what is going on. in
Yeah,
KD.
so Delve is a fairly new game from a fairly new studio. They came out last year. Incredible Dream is the name of the studio that's making these. They have 3 different versions. Vainglory's Grotto, Scorn Stockade, and Callous Lab. So you get sort of a different boss, and then their deck of cards play a little bit differently from the other ones, mechanically and thematically. The cool part is it's sort of modular. So if you buy one of the boxes, you can play with 1 to 2 players. But if you get a second box, you can play up to 4. And if you have all 3, you can kind of mix and match all the different characters with the bosses, with the evil part of the game.
And that's huge. I think that's where a lot of the game really shines.
Yeah.
Is doing that kind of thing. I'm kind of a big sucker for that kind of thing, honestly.
Gives it a lot more replay value too, because
Yeah.
you can kind of swap things out.
Right. And this is all part of the Kinfire
Universe. Yeah.
right? Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I think maybe you might know the most about
Maybe, I
the
mean, we've been
Kinfire
playing
universe.
Chronicles as well,
Uh-huh.
which is sort of a longer, like, RPG version
campaign
of
style.
this,
Yeah.
sort of like a legacy game, and we've been enjoying that
Right.
too.
Way different. Well, a lot different.
Yeah.
A lot different.
But some of the core sort of combat is kind of in there.
But
But
and the characters and style is the same.
yeah. So in fact, the 6 characters from the Delve games are the ones you can play as in Chronicles as well.
Which I think is a pretty unique thing to have characters kind of
It
bridging
is.
over between very different style components.
Yeah, and in fact, there's a new one that they just put out too. We're talking about every game except Delve, but here you go. A new one called Kinfire Council, where again, it's those same 6 characters. I think it takes place like after the campaign of Chronicles, and they're doing other stuff as those characters.
Right.
So it is kind of neat to have like a through
Yeah,
line.
yeah.
across
But you don't
the
need to know
games.
any of that to get
Yes.
into this.
But to talk about the world of Kinfire, so we're all called lantern bearers, and so we have these Kinfire lanterns which give each character specific abilities. And the big overarching thing is like there's this darkness coming. There's the evil night and this evil force that's darkness, and we're trying to like fight the corrupted monsters that are being influenced by this darkness.
Right.
So that's kind of generic, but there's more to it.
Yeah.
Depending on which game you're playing and which
Right.
boss you're facing.
And so, Scott, if you're okay with it, tell us a little bit about like how the gameplay is, just like a little overview.
Yeah,
of what you're doing.
one of the unique things about the gameplay is it's really kind of a card-based system as far as setup goes. You have your hand, but then the things that you're fighting against are all card-based as well, and you kind of have like a main deck that you're delving into, and you're wanting to move through those cards, and so you defeat various monsters or traps or obstacles of various types in order to delve through the deck to get to the bottom of that, and you're taking damage or maybe getting some exhaustion and other negative things as you go through there. And then after you get to the bottom, you delve to the bottom of the well, you then fight the big boss. And so some of the things that you've done over the course of the first phase of gameplay then has a big effect on your interaction with the boss.
Right.
So I would say that's, again, a strength of the game, with it being, it doesn't have 1,000 components. It's simple, it's easy to set up, easy to put away.
That's really a big thing for me. That's one of the main reasons. Spoiler: I really, really, really like this game. But that's such a great point. I mean, even with all the 3 boxes together, there's a ton of stuff in there without having a ton of stuff everywhere. And so, yeah, I guess I'll just kind of start this off the review portion here. But the main thing that I think about when I'm thinking about this game is that nearly everything about this game feels good. Like, it feels good to look at it. It feels good to play it. It feels good to talk to your friends about what we're going to do next. It feels good to be stressed out about which challenge we should do it. And then
That I could disagree with.
Less stress would be better.
but the game is really conducive to like a jovial atmosphere. You're with your friends, and it sets up really quickly, and it plays quickly, and you could do another one, or you can just move on, and it is clean. That is like the main thing I really like about this.
One of the things that we talked about that's in relation to that, as opposed to some other cooperative games where it's sort of like your turn, and then your next turn, and you're going to help me out in your next turn, and your previous turn, is that you can do boosts, and you can do more things not on your turn, and so it keeps you more active more often, which I think leads to a lot of the things that you were referencing, which is the talking, the communication, and the staying sort of like involved in the game, and thus it makes it move along quickly.
Totally. And the game has big highs, you're like, yeah, and then there's big lows, you're like, oh my god, what are we going to do? And kind of what you were talking about, Scott, is different from different co-ops, is like the enemy, or the game doesn't really take a turn against you. It's like always taking a turn against you.
Yeah.
Every action or that you take, or something that you don't complete, has a negative consequence. And then even delving through the deck and getting a new challenge out there is going to have a negative consequence.
Mm-hmm.
So that is just really cool, and it just makes the game that much cleaner and faster.
It makes it so much better cooperatively. So I've played it a couple times, the solo mode, and you're just sort of solving a puzzle, which is a lot more fun with other people. You can interact, versus sometimes it felt like playing on my own. I was just dealt sort of a losing.
Yeah, you know, and we talk about solo because some people might be looking at this for solo. Sure. You could play it solo. I like it solo. And that's how I first played it before you brought it, and we were like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you liked this game too. But it's good. Solo, it's good. Would I get it just for solo now, having played it? No. With the other people at the table talking about it, saying, hey, I can boost this, you will do this challenge, but wait, on my turn, we're going to be doing that thing. Yeah. And so I'll be talking about a little bit of the cons that I found and see what you guys think of it. There aren't many. This is kind of nitpicky things. But at first, it can be a little confusing between the difference of like discarding and completing. Those are two different things. It could be just if you play things like Magic the Gathering or like other games with like keywords, you kind of get it, but it could be a little confusing at first. And
Sure.
it can kind of have a big impact if you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, there's some rule minutia that's a little bit difficult to parse early
Yeah.
on. I think it really helps to have somebody like we had Casey that had played the game and like,
Yeah.
oh, you do this and you do that. Oh, you fold these cards in over here, and so that definitely helped. When I bought this game for my brother for his birthday, I liked it so much, and we sat down to play, and it was. It had been a while since we played because we'd been playing Chronicles and
Yeah.
other games.
Yeah.
And so I had to kind of like, book flip
Figure
a
it
little
out
bit to
again.
be like, now
Yeah.
wait a minute, exactly how? Because I depended on you before.
Yeah. It's not heavy rule set. But it's like a little bit of a specific one.
Yeah,
That
and
makes
like you said, since each decision is so impactful, screwing up a rule here or there can really throw off what the game
Right.
is going to play like
Right.
and
And
what the results are going to
A
be.
little bit on that too. The different challenges and the master big bad boss, they also can have global effects that are like in effect, and it can be sometimes easy to miss them. Sometimes, like we were playing, and then I was like, "Oh, you know what? We missed this." Or
Oh,
I
we were
can't
supposed
remember.
to discard
Yeah.
after this effect. On
Again,
this
not a
thing.
big deal, but it can be a little deflating. You're like, "Oh yeah, that thing." But things change so much that you gotta kind of keep up with it a little bit. And one thing that's not a big deal for me personally, but maybe for other people, is that those lantern super abilities that you have are really cool. But they do start face down, so you can't use them. And you may play games where you
never
never
have 'em.
get it, or anybody ever gets it.
I don't think last time we played. I don't think
I don't
any
think
of us
anybody
put
did
on
either.
our lanterns.
Right.
Some of that's your
I don't-
choice, though.
Yes.
'Cause
Yeah.
as you're going through, there's rewards for defeating different things. It's like, well, do we want to get rid of this by discarding it because it's really bad, or do we want to complete it to get the reward?
That's
Right.
true.
So it's all sort of part of the puzzle solving.
But just
process.
know, like, the cool thing you have might not come at every game. Now,
Right.
it has come in a lot of games that I've played, but not every one. And the last thing I have is that there is luck. There is a level of luck, which I like. But I could see people not... I don't know. People that don't like luck, you know who you are.
Speaking of luck, though,
Yeah.
we should mention there is a dice element to it too.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
like when you're attacking the monsters and stuff, you have a chance
have
to
to
get
roll
good
dice.
rolls, and
Yeah.
yes, you do
And you
have,
have
to roll
to.
no matter what.
Which could... yeah.
And there's bad sides of the dice too,
Mhm.
so those can come into play
Right.
with their results.
Yes. And it could be key things. You're like, we've done everything we can. I just need one more green.
Yeah.
And it might not happen like when you were doing the bard person. You had to keep re-rolling because the bard's
Yeah.
ability was like re-roll. It's like keep re-rolling.
Please,
Yeah.
please.
For me, cons, and I love the game as well. Really enjoy it. I did have a different experience when I bought a single box for my brother.
Oh,
it's like, well, we have these two characters to pick from.
Yeah.
So who's going to be which one?
Right.
And so and when we played it with Casey originally, we had all 6 characters to kind of pick from, and there was more choice. And the 3 of us together, could kind of figure things out a little bit. My brother and I just got crushed, and so so that was part of it a little bit. And so I don't know if there's like a sort of raising a level or a wave curve of enjoyment based on how many boxes you have, based on the level of enjoyment. It's certainly playable with one box, but I found myself missing the ability to have some more choices because I got that the first time, so maybe I was spoiled when we did that. The other thing that frustrates me a little bit with the game is the color matching concept, is that your abilities have different colors. There's like green, blue, red, white is kind of a wild, and in order to like sometimes boost or affect a certain thing, you've got to match the color. And so an example of the last game that we played, I had to sit there for a couple of rounds not really able to get rid of a card and get a new hand because I had a red card and there was no red challenges out there and nobody really had much red. And so And that's a little confusing. Of like, okay, the color has to match the challenge, but then the color also has to then match the boost, and so I find that a little cumbersome sometimes and a little annoying.
Gotcha.
Yeah, sometimes you feel a little
see that.
trapped
Yes.
by like just
Yeah.
waiting on the bad cards to be something you can interact with.
Right. But hey, if you're delving down into a evil well, that can happen.
Yeah,
That
just
you
like
get-
in real
just
life.
like you get the wrong color.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
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 You're not a red monster.
Oh,
I
wait.
have a green arrow.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
Cool. So, yeah, I think we're ready for.
Yeah, I'm going to
final
tag on
thoughts.
to your con though and flip and mention one more pro for me at least. So you're having one box felt like kind of a lesser experience. A pro for me is the cost of this game. These are $20
Yeah.
for a box.
That's crazy.
So you can easily pick up all three for $60, and that's sort of the cost of like a regular board
Right.
game,
And then-
kind of have everything.
And then there's new stuff for it now too.
And then there's a little micro expansion that
That
adds like
is
some
really
new
nice.
boss cards to it. So there's more things you can add to this game.
So now we're gonna go to our final thoughts. Casey, take it away.
I love Kinfire Delve. In fact, I've been loving pretty much everything that Incredible Dream has put out so far that I've played.
Yeah.
I like that it's sort of concise. You kind of mentioned that it's pretty easy to get into. It's quick to play. The rules aren't horribly complicated to figure out right off the bat. You do have to remember some stuff. But like you were talking about, looks great, feels great. I find myself wanting to go back to it.
Yeah.
Usually that's a big factor for me of like, did I like that game? It's like I immediately want to replay that game. So way up there for me.
Yeah.
Loving it.
A strong recommend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also recommend this game. I think it's a big bang for your buck game on that it's high quality, the art, the style, the concept. It's a very unique game. It has gameplay mechanics that are very different from most anything else I've played. They're not unfamiliar game mechanics, but they are done in a unique way. Simple, easy to set up, easy to grab and play. I recommend the game highly. I would say the more boxes, the better. Would be my suggestion with the game. But again, I love the game as well.
Yeah, I would love a new box or two. I'd be really, really pumped if that happened. Not sure if that's going to happen, but as is, if nothing else changed, this is like the highest recommendation from me. It's this could be an evergreen game, a game that I never get rid of, and I could play it with a lot of different people. And again, being co-op, and if you have somebody that really knows the game, has played it a lot, you can help out people as they're playing it. And I think people are going to have a great time. Like I said, it creates a really fun, jovial atmosphere. And if that's not what you're looking for, why are you playing,
Yeah,
why are you playing games in the
if
first
you don't want
place?
joy or happiness or coolness, this is a game to avoid.
Cool. So check it out, everybody. Let us know what you think. I've been Eric,
Scott,
Casey.
and we'll catch you guys in the well. Ah!